guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides. We're back here with my new Civic Type R, and one question that everybody and their mother keeps asking me is, Joe, why did you not buy a GR Corolla instead of the Type R? So let's go ahead and let's get down to the nitty-gritty on why I went Type R. Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides. We're here on a twisty bit of road in my Type R. I got my freaking To the Door panel shirt on, and I want to talk about a big question that I've been getting a lot. Joe, how come you got an FL5 Type R over a GR Corolla? Well, let's get into this. So first we're going on throttle. There we go. I tell you, this car is a ton of fun. Nice. So, as you can see, one of the things that I really thought about when it came to the Type R over the GR Corolla is the gearbox. Now, I'm not saying that the GR Corolla gearbox is not good. It's actually very good. The challenge is that Honda has had a lot of practice, engineering, design work, and everything else with the Type R since 1997, let alone the NSX and the S2000. All of that magic is wrapped up into this 6-speed gearbox. And it's that more precise, that more shorter of a shift, crisper engagement, and everything in between. So that right off the bat is definitely one area where I was like, GR Corolla, I'm gonna have to pass. Now, another area that was very important to me were the seats. GR Corolla seats, especially if you go with the core trim, which was what was currently available at the time that I got my Type R, were really nothing to write home about. Decent bolstering, okay adjustment. They weren't definitely the seats from the Morizo or the Circuit Edition. These seats are just magical. And the fact that you just get them across the board, Type R, these are the seats, and that's it, I dig it. You sit more in the car, whereas with the GR Corolla, I don't feel that same way. I feel like you're kind of sitting on it rather than in it. And then just the bolstering and comfort is just, it's phenomenal. It really is phenomenal. Now, visibility, of course, on both cars is very good. But on the Type R, especially out the back, it's a larger piece of glass, a larger hatch area. It really allows you to have a clearer view of the GR Corollas that are behind you. Out the front, they're pretty much spot on even with how far the A-pillars are on both of them and everything else. So very the same when it comes to visibility out the front. Just visibility out the back on the Type R, I feel, is better. Now, another area which is very important to me is steering input. And that's something, you know, that even when you drive a regular Civic, it doesn't even have to be a sport, but any Civic, whether it's a base, a sport, a touring, SI, or Type R, you're definitely going to get some amazing feedback that comes through the wheel. And I really like all of that communication that comes through the wheel on the Type R. Not to say that the Corolla, GR Corolla, isn't good. It is. It's just the Type R is a little bit better. And then, of course, how she pulls. Being front-wheel drive, lighter flywheel, the engine spins up faster, and here we are, 3,500 RPM on throttle. Now, of course, you're not going to get that ultimate grip like you would from the GR Corolla, and I absolutely dig the way you can adjust the torque distribution in the GR Corolla, even so much as sending 70% of the power to the rear wheels, 30% to the front wheels. Obviously, being front wheel drive, you are kind of stuck and you're not able to adjust that. With that being said though, this is one front wheel drive car that if you have not been behind the wheel of an FK8 or this FL5, you're in for quite a surprise, because they do not perform like any front wheel drive car you've ever seen. Now on the Type R, you do have wider wheels and tires. We got two 65s, all four corners. And another area where you're just gonna really smoke check the GR Corolla is the amount of cargo room. Especially if this is your only car, the amount of cargo room on the Type R, it puts some small SUVs to shame, let alone the GR Corolla. Dash, I dig them both. Instrumentation, I dig them both. Infotainment, it's hard because I like the new multimedia system that Toyota has, but what I do like in the Type R is the data log-R system, which has been upgraded and is new for 2023, especially for when you go to the track, especially all of the different readouts I could get: water temp, oil pressure, all those good things. So when it comes to instrumentation, check, they're both fantastic, and each of them have a little bit extra something special when it comes to their infotainment. One happens to be a better multimedia system. The Type R happens to have that, like I said, that more track focused log-R system, which is pretty cool. Now when it comes to overall performance, you're splitting hairs, and I know that there's been tons of different tests done by tons of different people, and it's just one of those things that, for me, I could care less about 0 to 60. This car is not a drag car. You're not going to launch it hard off the line. You're going to lose tire traction. I mean, that's just goes without saying. But on a road course, the Type R, more often than not, comes out on top of the GR Corolla. 0 to 60 and drag race, the GR Corolla is gonna have a little bit of an edge, especially with it being all-wheel drive. But on a road course, the Type R is the one that really shines, and that's even going up against the Morizo edition, which is kind of a special spec, since it does have a rear seat delete, amongst other things, and sticky Cup 2 tires. Now you can get Cup 2 tires as a dealer added option for the Type R. Mine does not have it. I'm gonna get track specific wheels and put track specific tires on those wheels. Now when it comes to sound, I feel like the Type R is a little bit more artificial. And definitely the 3-cylinder turbo has a more unique sound in the GR Corolla. So definitely when it comes to interior sound, I do tend to like the GR Corolla a bit more. When it comes to chassis, the chassis in the Type R is extremely rigid, which is great when things are smooth, not so great when things are rough. And that's what you're gonna find, is that with the Type R, when the road gets rough, that's where it's gonna be more bouncy, and it's going to be harder to maintain that confidence, especially if you have a bump mid-corner. I feel like the GR Corolla, once again, with its all-wheel drive and its suspension, absorbs those mid-corner bumps a little bit more to inspire confidence, which will allow you to be quicker. But that's if the road is bumpy. If the road is smooth, the Type R does one hell of a job. Little bit of rev hang still, exists, not as much as the FK8, but definitely a little bit of rev hang is still there. GR Corolla doesn't have any rev hang, so that's definitely a nice thing about the GR Corolla. But for me, and what I want to do with this car eventually, which is to take it more to the track and do some road course action, this is where I felt like the Type R was the one that I wanted to be behind the wheel, especially since I already had an all-wheel drive car with my WRX STI, and the fact that I had an FK8 Type R. I'm really enjoying my FL5 Type R more than I was my FK8 overall. But you're really not going to lose with either vehicle, whether you go GR Corolla or if you go Type R. It just, excuse me, like I was saying, for me, this was more where I wanted to be. And I just really liked, especially at Sears Point Raceway, the fact that the Type R just had so much torque from 3,500 all the way up to 7,000 RPM. For a 4-cylinder turbo, it really was very potent. And this gearbox, like I said, is just a hot knife through butter. Plus, I feel like the automatic rev match downshift feature, which is defeatable on both cars, is just a little bit more refined on the Type R. That's just something that I've noticed between driving both of them. But when it comes to what do you want for the track, it just really depends. You know, if you really want that car that feels more hooked up, especially, you know, if you're at a Sears Point, a Watkins Glen, a Coda, I really think the Type R is the way to go. But the GR Corolla, it's like I said, they're both fantastic cars. So it's great that we live in this day and age where we're able to have these cars available before everything goes electric and everything gets boring and sucks. But interior, I feel like they did a better job on the interior refinement with the Type R over the GR Corolla, especially with the microfiber suede material. Love the leather wrap steering wheel, the nice aluminum shift knob. It's like these are things that this is how it comes. You got your wireless charging, USB-A's, 12 volts. I mean, and a Bose sound system. So these are just more and more reasons why I picked the Type R. And from a styling standpoint, I simply love the curves on this thing. The width, the way everything flows from the front to the back, and how the rear passenger doors start to flare out. That to me is just like, mwah, the chef's kiss. But anyways, I hope that this has been useful. I hope that I didn't seem too biased. I'm not trying to be biased. I would prefer both of the cars. If I could buy both of them, I would have bought both of them because they're both really, really good cars. And I just felt like the Type R just had a little bit of something more that I was looking for. And that's what it boiled down to. But if you have any more specific questions, I'm going to be making more of these little driving vlogs where we just kind of go through the back roads where I live and talk a little bit about things with the Type R. Let me know in that comment section how you feel about that. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, you know how grateful I am. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your awesome support. I got to give a huge shout out to both Lori and Steven. They didn't help me with this filming. I set the GoPro up all by my lonesome, but they're obviously always there with every other review. So definitely a shout out to Steven and Lori for making the magic happen. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.